This video is brought to you by Dr. Kristen R. Bromley's Guitar Method Book Series and Online Music Academy.
Hi there, I'm Dr. Kristen Bromley. Welcome to my online guitar academy. So delighted to have you joining me. In this quick answer episode, we're going to talk about tuning the guitar. Now there's multiple ways to tune the guitar. You can tune the guitar using an electronic tuner. We'll look at those. You can tune the guitar to itself because the same pitch exists in more than one place on the guitar, so you can compare those notes and get the guitar in tune that way from string to string. You can also tune the guitar to another instrument. Or if you've got an ear for it, you could probably just tune the guitar straight out by ear. Most of us don't have perfect pitch to do that. Even those of us with relative pitch, we can get it in tune, but if we want it at sort of that 440 hertz sort of space that most instruments are tuned to, then it helps to tune to one that's in tune, or to use an electronic tuner. And that's what I'm going to show how to use first. But before we get there, let's talk about how we actually change the pitch or tune the strings of the guitar. So the strings are each tightened to a certain tension, and that determines what pitch that they're at. So the tuning keys down here, when we tighten one, it raises the pitch of a string, and when we loosen it, it lowers the pitch. Now, with the direction on these, the strings should be strung from the inside of the post and then wrapped around to the outside, from inside to the outside. If they're strung properly, then with the tuning keys up here on the top, when we tighten, we're actually not going to be going lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. We're using our left hand. We're going to tighten the string as we go the natural direction that our left hand wants to turn, and then we're going to loosen the string as we go the unnatural way. On the underside, they actually are righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, though it's not going to feel quite like that because we're going to flip our hand upside down. So as we tighten a string, we're still going the natural way that the left hand turns, and then we're going to loosen the string by going the unnatural way. Okay, so with an electronic tuner, now my favorite are these little Fender FT004. These are inexpensive and they work great, and they clip on to the end. And with a clip-on tuner, it takes the vibrations from the neck and into the headstock. And that's so great because if you're playing in a place where it's really noisy and the tuner can get messed up when it's working off of a mic. It can have a hard time picking up just the sound of the strings. So these clip-on tuners, they aren't bothered like electronics are bothered, but they are influenced as they're picking up whether the pitch is in tune or not by any ambient noise. I should say though, there's a lot of apps that people like to use, and you can download an app and it works just like an electronic tuner that runs off the mic. So it uses the mics in the phone and can tune the guitar. So the way these tuners work is they've got this gauge. 0 cents is when the guitar is in tune. When the needle, there should be some sort of needle. Even if it's an electronic tuner, it's going to show one way or the other. So an electronic needle goes back to the old days of an actual sort of needle or an actual gauge. But if it's too high, if the pitch is too high, then it's going to ring over here somewhere to the right. And if it's too high, then we fix that by loosening the string and bringing it back into where it goes to be in tune. If it's too low, if the needle rings over here where it's too low, then we need to tighten the string and raise the pitch all the way up until it's in tune. So I've messed around just a little bit with this low string. This low E string needs to be raised just a little bit to get it back in tune. Some tuners will go green or change color when it gets in tune. And that's what this one does, though you won't be able to pick it up there on the camera. But it's going green on me because I'm in tune. So that is the easiest way to tune the guitar. I do want to mention that a lot of these tuners have a couple different settings. This one, for example, has a setting for guitar, G for guitar. That means that it is only looking for the actual natural pitch that the strings are tuned to in natural tuning. So when I'm plucking E, A, D, G, B, or E, it's going to be looking specifically for those pitches, recognize what string it's on. Some tuners you actually have to change what string you're tuning, but it's only looking for that. Sometimes if the guitar is way out of tune, that's problematic. And there's another setting on a lot of these tuners, most of them, which is chromatic. Chromatic will tell you what pitch you're ringing in at any given time and whether it's sharp or flat. And that can be really helpful. For example, if this string, this low 6 string, needs to tune in at an E, and what it's reading at on the tuner is C sharp, then I know that C sharp is below E and I need to raise it, and I can keep watching until it gets all the way up to the E. So some tuners you got to watch because you could actually be tuning it to a different pitch, or it might not be able to read it because it's in guitar setting and the pitch that you're tuning it to, the pitch that the string is at, is way outside the range of the actual pitch you're trying to tune it to. So that can get a little bit tricky and confusing there. But electronic tuners and amps, they are great. My favorite, again, are these clip-on tuners. They're so inexpensive these days, and they're not affected by ambient noise. So it's really handy, and it's just nice that way. The other ways that you can tune the guitar, one way is that you can tune the guitar to itself or to another instrument. Just a couple notes about tuning to another instrument. Maybe you're going to tune it to the piano, for example. And so you need to know the names of the pitches to tune the guitar. There are quick answer videos that talk a little bit more about that, but I'm just going to run through it. The low 6 string is an E, then an A, a D, a G, a B, and an E. So E, A, D, G, B, E. This low E string you can find on the piano. You can find any of these pitches on the piano. If you know where the middle C is on the piano, this E sits right above middle C. So it's the E right above it, and then you would just go lower on these pitches. But to tune to an instrument, you want to hear the pitch that the instrument is playing first. So play it on the piano or whatever instrument. Hear it and then play yours. If yours sounds too high, then we drop it and bring it lower. If it sounds too low, then we bring it up. Sometimes we might not be able to tell. If you can't tell, usually what I do is just lower it until I know that it's below the pitch that I am trying to tune to, and then I gradually bring it back up until it sounds like it's in tune. And that can be helpful. When I'm listening for strings, the sound waves, if it's kind of far off, you'll feel this tension. Tension between the strings. I know I tuned it lower then, but as I bring it up, that tension starts to go away until I'm not hearing any tension in the waves. They just sound the same. Now I just tuned the guitar to itself, which is another thing that I will show. So with the guitar, because of the way it's built, you can actually have multiple places where the same note is located. For example, this top string is also at the 5th fret on the 2nd string, 9th fret on the 3rd string, 14th fret on the 4th string, 19th fret there on the 5th string, and then if I cheat with a harmonic, I can get it up there on the 6th string. So 5 places where that one pitch of the open string is located. So with all of these open strings, there's actually a place on the string just lower than it could relate to. So that high string, if I go to the 5th fret of the next string, those two should sound the same. So if I was comparing at the 5th fret to the high string, and I hear that that it's not quite right, I know in this case that I'm below, that I just bring it back up until I've removed tension in the strings, until it sounds like that tension's gone and I'm playing in complete unison. I usually, when I'm tuning, if it's too high, I usually drop it a little bit below and then bring it back up. It's just easier for my ear, I think for most of our ear, to hear below coming higher than the other way around. Sometimes though, when tuning below, I might just go above a little bit too much, and then I just got to bring it back. So you just listen for that. The B string, it's at the 4th fret on the string just lower than it. Those two should match. That's the only one that isn't at the 5th fret, by the way. So when you're tuning the 2nd string to the 3rd string, the third strings, it's got to be pushed down at the 4th fret. For all the other strings, it's the 5th fret. So the open 3rd string can be tuned to the 4th string at the 5th fret. The open 4th string can be tuned to the 5th string at the 5th fret. The open 5th string can be tuned to the 6th string at the 5th fret. If you had more, you could go lower. Now, that only works when we pick a pitch to tune it to. So a lot of times we try and ear out where we want that 6th string to be, and then we can move through and tune the 5th string by putting the 6th string down at the 5th fret and then tuning that open 5th string. And then same thing for the next. Put our finger down at the 5th fret of the 5th string, tune the open 4th. Then we go to the 4th string, 5th fret of the 4th string, tune the open 3rd. And then for that 3rd string, we go to the 4th fret to tune the open 2nd string. And then we're back to the 5th fret on the 2nd string to tune the open top string. And then we can hear those outside ones in tune. Alright, so that's a little bit on tuning. Hope that helps you out. Hope to see you again. Take care. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. For more in-depth lessons and to progress through a free guitar course, check out my Guitar 101 series on YouTube and my guitar method books, which all come with access to hours of in-depth video lessons. You can find more information about me and my products at KristenBromley.com.